This is Support is Sexy, episode 272, and today we're talking about questions to help you craft your brand story. Welcome to Support is Sexy. I'm your host, Elayne Fluker, entrepreneur, author, and founder of Chic Rebellion Media. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, I interview inspiring women entrepreneurs who share their wins and their lessons to help you take your business and your life to the next level and create something sexy. Here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Support is Sexy. I'm happy to have you here. It just would not be the same without you. And today we are continuing our series on creating your unforgettable brand story. We've been talking about that for the past 2 episodes, so make sure you go back and listen. But in this episode today, I'm going to give you questions to help you craft your brand story. I'm a journalist, and as a journalist, as most of us do, I think the best way to craft a great story is to ask provocative questions. Simple questions, but provocative nonetheless. So today I'm going to ask you a few questions to write down if you're working on your brand story, trying to get clear on it, mapping out your vision. The thing that you need, other than listening, of course, pencil and paper, like school. Do you remember that? Pen, paper, pencil, paper. If you're able to write things down, I would love for you to do that. Of course, you can take notes in your phone or just listen and do it later. But if possible, why not write it down? I just think there's power in putting pen to paper. I'm old school like that. So just amuse me. Pen and paper if possible. Okay, so here's the first question. Are you ready for this one? Who are you? It sounds simple, but you would be surprised how often that question trips us up. For me personally, for clients that I work with, for anyone that you talk to, when you simply ask, who are you? It's a heavy question. It can be a heavy question if we allow it to be a heavy question. But think about that. Who am I? What do I want to present to the world about who I am? Now, don't limit yourself by thinking, okay, how do I make this into a brand? Don't even think about that part of it right now. But honestly, write down, who are you? Who do you feel like you are? Who is the woman you want to become? Who is the woman you want to be? And then as you go along, we'll craft that into a brand story. But write down, who are you? Think about that. Write down some notes. Doesn't even have to be complete sentences. Maybe it's just words about who you are or what you feel, again, or what you want to become. Maybe it is full sentences. Maybe it's a paragraph. No judgment, no limitations. Just write it out. Who are you? And again, when I talk to clients that I work with on crafting their unforgettable brand stories, this is the first question that we go over after we talk a little bit about what their goals are. This is the lead question that I ask them during the interview when we're determining their brand story. So who are you? Then the next question, what are you up to? What are you doing? Why are we even having this conversation? What are you excited about? That's a question that I ask people actually when I first meet them instead of what do you do, which is great and fine to ask too. No judgment around that. But I want to know, what are you excited about? What are you up to right now? So think about that for yourself. Write down, what am I up to? You're writing this down for yourself. What am I up to? Or what am I excited about right now? What are you anxious to share with people right now? Again, don't think of how am I packaging this as a brand. Just answer the question. What are you up to? What are you doing? What are you excited about? What are you creating? Now, I will say maybe this thing isn't created yet. So don't limit yourself and say, oh, well, I don't really have it yet, so I can't say I'm up to that. But if you are planning to create a new designer shoe line, this is what you're up to. You're creating this line and this is your intention for that line. So don't limit yourself by where you are right now. This is incorporating where you are and what your vision is. So make sure you include that as well. And then think about, what message do you want to put out into the world? So this goes beyond just that designer shoe line that you're creating. What do you want your message to be around that shoe line? Is it something that's different because you're focused on comfort? Or is it something that's different because for every pair of shoes that your company sells, you're giving a pair of shoes to underprivileged girls? What is the message? What is the thing that you want to put out there to get people drawn into your story? Now, in this case, we are thinking a little bit about story, but what is the message? What makes it powerful? What do you want people to do based on your message? How do you want people to feel based on your message? Which of course should be connected in some way to the brand or what you're up to or what you're creating. So think about it. What is my message? What am I trying to say? What do you want to communicate to people, even if not verbally? But if I come across your shoe or I go to your website and I read about it, what am I supposed to feel when I read about it? Is it just another shoe line? Which, okay, if that's what you're doing, but I know you're up to something bigger than that. So what is the message that you want to communicate to me as your customer, client, audience, consumer? What is your message? And then the last question to consider, what do you want people to feel or do when they hear that message? So what are you communicating with that message? And then what do you want me to do? Do you want me to buy a pair of shoes? Do you want me to feel excited about buying these shoes? Because I know that when I buy them, I'm giving back to underprivileged girls because that's a part of your company mission. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to feel when I interact with your brand? And remember, when we say brand, we mean, of course, a product or service or things like that. But we also mean you as a person. So if you're thinking about your personal brand in your career, maybe you don't have a business, it's in your career. What do you want me to feel, experience, or do when I interact with you? Of course, knowing this is going to vary from day to day. Nothing's the same all the time. But as a person, you stand for something. You have a mission, your personal mission. There's a lot that you're up to and a lot that you're about. So what do you want me and most people to feel when they interact with you? What is the thing that you want to emit to the world? What are you about? What is your message? And what do you want me to feel or experience when I interact with you? I'll use myself as an example just for the personal side. When people interact with me, I want them to feel, one, at ease and comfortable. I want them to know that I am a person that's all about support and compassion. I want them to know that they are loved and accepted. So these are things that I want people to feel when they interact with me, whether it's business or otherwise. This is who I am. This is what I stand for. This is what I've chosen to be about. And this is what I want you to feel or experience in our interactions. Now, again, things change day to day. Things happen. Everyone else won't come at you with the same kind of energy, for lack of a better word. But what are you about? What do you want to communicate? What is your intention? That's where you have to start. What is your intention with yourself, with your brand, with what you're creating, with what you're up to? So these are just a few of the questions to get you started creating your unforgettable brand story. Hopefully you've written them down. Even if you haven't written the answers down yet, you have the question, you have some things to consider, and this will help get you started. As you write out your answers and just consider all of it, you will start to see a story take shape, and that will become eventually your brand story. Who you are, what message you want to send out into the world, what you're up to, what you want people to do or feel when they hear your message, what you're all about. It begins to create your brand story. Now, these are just a few of the questions that I ask clients when I work with them about their brand stories. And of course, if you listen to the podcast, you know, once you ask a question based on what the person says, there's a follow-up question and you dive deeper and deeper into this. But since you and I aren't having a dialogue right now, I'm sharing it with you and you're writing it down and thinking about it for yourself. Dive in deeper as you write things out and consider them and ask yourself follow-up questions to continue to craft your story, which won't happen overnight. You'll do it over a period of time. But when I work with people, we go back and forth, ask these questions, ask additional questions, and get to the bottom of the story. You can get there by asking yourself the right questions. Now, in our next episode on creating your unforgettable brand story, we're going to talk about what makes a great story. What are some of the ingredients? What are some of the key components that go into a brand story? That's what we'll talk about in the next episode. So make sure you come on back tomorrow so you can hear that and we can continue our series on creating your unforgettable brand story. As always, you know I appreciate you being here. I am here for you and here to support you. In fact, something that I'm very excited about and something that I am up to right now is the Support is Sexy Mastermind. I want you to go to supportissexymastermind.com. Make sure you check it out. tools, resources, regular conversations and chats, private Facebook group. All of these things are there to support you in your journey, creating your brand story, creating your brand, deciding who you want to be in the world, supporting you as a woman, supporting you as an entrepreneur. That is what the intention of the Support is Sexy Mastermind is all about. I'm so dedicated to it going into this next year. And I say this next year because for me, July was the 1-year anniversary for Support is Sexy podcast, at least. So this next year focused really doubling down on supporting you in all the ways that I can. A membership community was one of the things that on the survey that we did, people were very excited about being a part of. So we have members all around the world, Berlin, Australia, New York, LA, all in this mastermind working together to support each other. So again, supportissexymastermind.com. I want you to check it out, consider it. I would love to have you. But even if it's not the mastermind for Support is Sexy, wherever you go, wherever you join, I want you to make sure that you have support, creating your brand story, being who you are, whatever you want to do in this world, make sure you have support around it because support is sexy. All right. So thank you all so much for listening. I look forward to chatting with you tomorrow. And until then, you know what to do. Go out there and create something sexy. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care.